Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ryan, and today I'm joined by...
I'm Ted.
And I'm Dave.
And today we're going to talk about encounter ecology. So this is a Game Master tip. But before that, you can check out the newsletter down below and get all kinds of tips yourself, or learn how to game with Nerdarchy. And back to the show. So the idea is it kind of hinges off of... or piggyback off to the idea of like layers, like how like the dragon affects everything around it, the ecology of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a really good article on this that I saw like last year at some point, and I wish I remember where I found it, where I saw it. I know you've seen the same article, I think.
Yeah, I did.
That basically we're centered around the same thing. It's like. So like you said, the concept is you have the big bad monster, and as you get away from the monster, almost like in concentric circles going outwards, is this spread of lesser monsters and lesser threats.
So imagine you have like your world map or your continent map is like made of hexes. So in this hex you have big bad monster, right? Well, the hexes around that in concentric circles are going to be progressively weaker and weaker and weaker monsters, because it's kind of this ecology thing of like you have apex predator, and then you have strong but not as strong as apex, and then like and so on, because like really the things that are further away, because they can hang the least with the thing up the top of the food chain, also probably those smaller and smaller things probably have slimmer pickings where they live. So like maybe they start to live in deserts and other things like that, like less desirable places to dwell, because the strongest thing is going to claim the biggest resources, right? So that makes sort of sense.
Yeah, so I mean, you can even do it from, as a game master, you can go, you can literally just tear it down from your CRs.
Yeah, that's exactly what the mechanism would be, was CR based.
So you've got your dragons, then your giants, then your ogres, your goblins, and then your animals. It's a very simplistic stepping stone.
And that's just a very basic overview, but you could do something more interesting than that as well, and like have pockets of these weaker monsters mixed in with the stronger monsters, but like there has to be a reason why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then also too, like, so some things, like if it's a grazing animal, like a herd of deer or bison or whatever, they might go across where the alpha predator is because the grazing ground's really good, but then they get the hell out as quickly as possible. So they could be encountered there, sure, but they don't, like, that's not typically where they would stay, but they might do that as part of their migration path.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying by setting up this dichotomy,
schema,
it opens up to create these interesting interactions and anomalies within the rules you've already set up.
Right.
For instance, say you have an area that's inhabited by owlbears. So normally many weaker creatures are not going to hang out there because no one wants to be eaten by an owlbear. But
maybe there's a tribe of halflings that domesticated them.
Yeah, or I was thinking, I was going to say arboreal goblins, but arboreal halflings would work as well. Yeah. And it's like, they've avoided the problem by they don't go on the ground. Yeah, so like, either these goblins or these halflings, you have them swinging from vines and stuff, staying off the ground.
Yeah, they play hot lava, except for it's hot owlbear.
and then you have owlbears just following around, just hoping one will fall.
Yeah, I could really go for a goblin right now.
Yeah.
So like it sets up premises for world building and story building in that way. B, when you're making your random encounter charts, you could like, all right, this is what the region is, and you can kind of like maybe help you adjust what your probability of running into things are.
Well, yeah, because if you're in the weak area, that's more likely what you're going to find. But you know what? Sometimes the owlbears come out of their area
to go hunting. And also too, like, it makes perfect reasonable sense that they might go a hex or two in either direction for food or whatever. So again, if you had this all set up as like a great big sort of world building thing, this is going to inform a lot of your random encounter tables that you're like, all right, well, if they're this quadrant or whatever, I can throw this one thing that's adjacent to here onto this random encounter table, because they could be out there hunting or whatever. So
like, and you might have other random tables, but random tables that kind of inform on what's going on in your game. Like we did a video about this before, and it's like, like maybe like one of the arboreal halflings shows up as the random encounter, and then like you would have to figure out why. Is he hunting? Is he running away from something?
He's fleeing the owlbear.
Right, exactly. Like you might decide like you rolled the halfling, but how much more fun would it be to have it actually being a halfling being chased by a couple owlbears?
Right, and bringing the trouble. Or he could be out on a diplomatic mission, or needs you to find a rare flower or something. Some sort of situation.
Right. So like there's like a bunch of stuff like that you can just build off of.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just the base idea. I don't really think there's too much to go into depth with it. It just.
I mean, I have a point.
Oh, go ahead.
Like when you've got those relationships, similar to the whole concept of the owlbear and the halflings. Well, they're able to coexist because, for the most part, the owlbear can't get to them. The other possible alternative is to have some kind of either symbiotic or servile relationship. So like what happens if you had, this territory is really run by giants, but they've got some smaller humanoids like orcs or hobgoblins that serve them, and it's like, they bring the giants food, or they bring the giants treasure, and in service to that, he'll actually protect them from the other giants that are there. So like you want to make sure that if you're going to have something there, that there is a relationship, but it's not just so much of they get to stay away from each other.
So I see Benny the Hill Giant showing up to the Hobgoblin tribe, going, "Hey, I'm here to offer you protection." But no, and again, you're just setting up a different dichotomy of, here's the apex monster, here's the weaker ones that are outside of it, and then outside of those hobgoblins that are outside of like the main domain of these giants, you have what the hobgoblins raid in order to bring back the protection money for these guys, and hopefully the feds don't find out about it.
There's some quotas. There's what was the thing? There's like the big law thing where like if you get caught on these things, it was like what brought down the mafia, the racketeering thing. What were those laws? Like basically, it was like
they weren't paying their taxes. IRS, no one messes with
IRS. No. There was a specific term I can't remember. Somebody in the comments below will remember it. But it's when the heat got turned up on the mob back in the day. But anyway, I digress. So if you have any other ideas or you want to discuss this further, you can put your random encounters down in the comments below. You can like, comment, and subscribe.
You can support us over on Patreon.
You can tweet at us over on Twitter.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.